Have you ever wondered how a company can dominate a market and then seemingly disappear overnight? What happened to Nokia, once a titan of the mobile industry? Today, we're diving into the mystery behind Nokia's decline, exploring the rise and fall of this mobile giant and the pivotal role that Microsoft's acquisition played in its fate. Nokia was not just a brand, it was synonymous with mobile phones. At its peak, Nokia held more than 40% market share in the mobile phone sector. But how did it go from being an industry leader to a cautionary tale? This question is crucial because it teaches us about adaptability, innovation, and the impact of strategic decisions in business. In the early 2000s, Nokia was a powerhouse. They were pioneers in mobile technology, leading with innovative designs and robust hardware. But as the smartphone revolution began, Nokia's leadership underestimated the seismic shift occurring in consumer preferences. They focused too much on their existing strengths while ignoring emerging trends. This lack of foresight led them to miss the smartphone wave that Apple and later Android manufacturers capitalized on. You might ask, why is this important? Because in today's fast-paced world, being adaptable is crucial for survival. Companies must constantly evolve or risk being left behind. As Nokia clung to its feature phones, competitors began to eat away at its market share. In 2007, when Apple launched the iPhone, it didn't just introduce a new phone, it redefined what a smartphone could be. Suddenly, consumers wanted touchscreens, apps and sleek designs. Nokia was still selling phones that felt outdated. What does this say about your own life or business? Are you holding on to what you know instead of exploring what's next? It's a lesson many can learn from. As author Simon Sinek famously said, "People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it." Nokia had lost sight of its why. Instead of innovating, they became complacent. As the iPhone gained traction, Google entered the scene with Android, offering an open-source platform that attracted manufacturers like Samsung and HTC. These companies embraced innovation, launching devices that catered to consumer demands. Thus, a new competitive landscape emerged, and Nokia was ill-prepared. They were stuck in their ways while others adapted and thrived. But here's where things get really interesting. Microsoft saw an opportunity. In 2013, they acquired Nokia's Devices and Services division for $7.2 billion. Why would they do that? At first glance, it seemed like a strategic move to bolster their presence in the mobile market. But was it really a good decision? This acquisition was meant to combine Microsoft's software prowess with Nokia's hardware expertise. However, the integration did not go as planned. Imagine trying to fit two puzzle pieces together that just don't match. Microsoft struggled to make Windows Phone competitive against iOS and Android. Result: a lack of apps, poor user experience, and declining sales. This misalignment led to significant layoffs and eventual write-offs of billions of dollars. Microsoft's failure to revitalize Nokia's brand not only affected their bottom line, but also signaled the end of an era for Nokia. So why does this matter for us? It highlights the importance of not only strategic acquisitions, but also proper execution post-acquisition. Business is not just about making moves, it's about making them count. As Steve Jobs once said, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Microsoft failed to innovate with Nokia. Instead, they became followers in a race they couldn't win. The aftermath of the acquisition left Nokia's legacy in tatters. Their brand recognition faded as they focused on other areas like network infrastructure and technology licensing, rather than consumer electronics. While they still exist today, their influence in the smartphone market is virtually non-existent compared to their former glory. Now let's bring this back to you. What can you learn from Nokia's decline? It's essential to remain flexible and open to change. Whether you're running a business or navigating your career path, being adaptable is key. In an ever-evolving landscape, sticking to outdated practices can lead to failure. Reflect on this. Are you evolving with your industry? Are you keeping up with trends and innovations that could affect your field? As Nokia learned too late, ignoring these questions can result in catastrophic consequences. Some experts suggest that Nokia's downfall was also due to internal management issues. Leadership failed to unify their vision during critical transitions. Can you imagine how detrimental that could be? When leadership lacks clarity and direction, entire organizations falter. This is as true in corporate settings as it is in personal projects or teams. A quote by Peter Drucker resonates here. The greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence. It is to act with yesterday's logic. In other words, businesses must rethink their strategies continuously rather than relying on past successes. Nokia had a rich history filled with accomplishments, making them a household name across the globe. But failing to adapt resulted in their decline. They had opportunities to reinvent themselves, but chose not to seize them. It serves as a powerful reminder. If you're enjoying this, consider liking the video and subscribing for more insights. That past success does not guarantee future results. In conclusion, the rise and fall of Nokia is more than just a business story. It's a lesson for all of us about adaptability, vision, and execution. Just like Nokia faced challenges due to complacency and lack of innovation, we too must be vigilant in our pursuits. Ask yourself, are you prepared to adapt when necessary? Are you always looking for ways to innovate? Remember, stagnation is the enemy of progress. As we wrap up this exploration of Nokia's decline, keep in mind this final thought: the world moves quickly. Stay ahead of the curve or risk being left behind. Just like Nokia did, embrace change and keep pushing forward. It's the only way to ensure success in any endeavor you undertake. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the rise and fall of a mobile giant. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and never settle. Imagine holding the world in your hands only to watch it slip away. How does a company like Nokia, which once dominated the mobile market, find itself relegated to the sidelines? Today, we'll unravel the mystery behind Nokia's decline, focusing on the seismic shifts in innovation and strategy that led to its downfall, and the critical role Microsoft played in this saga. Nokia was not just a name, it was an institution in mobile technology. With over 40% market share at its zenith, it seemed invincible. But how did it tumble from this peak to a cautionary tale? This question is vital because it underscores the necessity of adaptability in business, a lesson we can all apply. In the early 2000s, Nokia led with groundbreaking designs and robust functionality. They were at the forefront of mobile technology, producing phones that were both reliable and user-friendly. However, as the smartphone revolution surged forward, Nokia's leadership fell into a trap of complacency. They underestimated the rapidly changing landscape of consumer preferences. Instead of pivoting to meet the demand for smartphones, they remained anchored to their feature phones, missing a golden opportunity. Why does this matter? In our fast-paced world, adaptability isn't just an asset, it's a survival skill. Companies that cling too tightly to their past successes risk becoming obsolete. As Nokia continued to produce outdated models, competitors like Apple and Samsung seized the moment. When Apple launched the iPhone in 2007, it didn't just introduce a new device, it revolutionized the market. Consumers began craving touchscreens, apps, and sleek designs, elements Nokia had failed to incorporate into their offerings. This leads us to a crucial point. Are you stuck in your ways, unwilling to explore new possibilities? This is a question that applies not only to businesses, but also to individuals in their careers. As Simon Sinek wisely stated, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Nokia forgot its why. the drive to innovate and lead rather than follow. As Apple took charge, Google entered with its Android OS, an open source platform that attracted numerous manufacturers. Companies like Samsung and HTC embraced this new era of innovation, releasing smartphones that catered to consumers' evolving needs. Meanwhile, Nokia was primarily focused on its Symbian OS, which quickly became outdated and irrelevant. Then came a pivotal moment. Microsoft saw potential in Nokia. In 2013, they acquired Nokia's Devices and Services division for $7.2 billion. Initially, this seemed like a strategic move, combining Microsoft's software capabilities with Nokia's hardware expertise. But was it truly a match made in heaven? The integration quickly proved challenging. Imagine trying to merge two distinct cultures without a plan. That's precisely what happened here. Microsoft struggled to compete against iOS and Android. The Windows Phone was met with lukewarm reception due to a lack of apps and poor user experience. This was a colossal oversight. Innovation requires not just resources but also vision and execution. As Steve Jobs once said, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Microsoft's attempt to revitalize Nokia ended in failure, causing significant layoffs and financial losses. So why should we care about this? It serves as a stark reminder of the importance of proper execution after strategic moves. Business isn't solely about making bold decisions, it's about ensuring those decisions yield results. Microsoft's inability to innovate with Nokia left both companies struggling to redefine their identities. The fallout from this acquisition was severe. Nokia's brand recognition faded as it shifted focus to network infrastructure and technology licensing instead of consumer electronics. While they still operate today, their influence in the smartphone market remains almost non-existent compared to their former glory. Reflect on this. What lessons can you take from Nokia's story? It highlights the necessity of flexibility and openness to change in any field or industry. Whether you're leading a company or advancing in your career, being adaptable is essential for success. Are you staying current with trends that could impact your work? Nokia also faced internal management challenges during critical transitions. Leadership struggled to unify their vision. Imagine how damaging that can be. When leaders lack clarity and direction, entire organizations can crumble. This principle applies universally, whether running a business or managing a team project. Clear communication and vision are vital. Peter Drucker made an astute observation. The greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence. It is to act with yesterday's logic. Businesses must continually rethink and adapt strategies instead of relying on past successes. Nokia had countless opportunities to reinvent itself but failed to seize them. The rise and fall of Nokia serve as more than just a corporate case study. It's an allegory for personal growth and evolution. Just as Nokia's past achievements didn't guarantee its future success, we too must remain vigilant in our pursuits. As we wrap up this exploration of Nokia's decline, consider this final thought: the world is ever changing. To thrive, we must stay ahead of the curve rather than risk being left behind. Just like Nokia did, embrace change, foster innovation, and keep pushing forward. It's the only way to ensure success in any endeavor you undertake. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the rise and fall of a mobile giant. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and never settle. As we peel back the layers of Nokia's rise and fall, it's clear that their story is more than just about phones. It's a cautionary tale of innovation, adaptation, and the relentless pace of change in technology. So, as we close this chapter, I invite you to ponder in a world where yesterday's giants can become today's memories. What lessons can we apply to our own lives or businesses? Are we ready to embrace change, or will we become complacent like Nokia? Share your thoughts below, and let's keep this conversation going. because the next big shift might just be around the corner.